Dude, I'm recording now, so just do the intro.
How do you do it? You're talking about with if you want to sign, if you're interested in signing up, hit the link on the bottom. There's a credit for you at the end. You make $2.50, and then helps out my channel as well.
They know the bait was suicide. Too deep when I ride. Ruby getting out for the pills that I supply. The screws are bound, flat tires, and a 06 Chevy. Looking like I'm bloody.
How did coding come about? I think it was just a natural progression from, when I was a kid, I was into computers more than I was into sports or friends but as I got older, I started making computer music, electronic music for a number of years. And I think I just kind of had this revelation after doing it for a number of years that, if I can spend as much time and get as good at doing this when it comes to making music on a computer, maybe I could do something even more interesting with programming languages and not software, the sequence drum machines, and
Nice.
that's kind of like where the website became. It's just because the web technology was a little bit more compelling to me than client side, more functional traditional languages. What do I think? That's a wonderfully broad question. I think
Like if you had to give it a review today.
Yes. This is kind of like a review for it today, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
What would I say? And then how would I feel? I cannot say enough good things about it, speaking personally. I love what I do with Lambda, and I'm so pleased with how it's going so far. Considering that my background coming into this it wasn't my first time around the block. I'd been freelancing for about a year at the point that I started Lambda School. I've been playing with functional web technology. I got started taking this on full time and just really, really getting serious about this the day after the presidential election in the United States. That was the day that where I'm from, and I guess the way that I feel and people that I surround myself with. It wasn't a good day. We had some misgivings about how the election went, and I remember thinking the day afterward of just thinking, everybody's just feeling helpless and pissed off, and everybody's having a really bad day. I just want to do something different with my life because I'm tired of working in a butcher shop. I'm tired of working in on fishing boats. I want to do something different. I want to get good at this. And so I did that for about a year and a half, 2 years of self-study, free code camp, Udemy courses on everything that you can imagine. And just in the 3 weeks that we've been doing Lambda, I cannot tell you how much faster I've been able to pick up things, put them into use, and actually retain things. I mean, I say this 3 months in, but React was something that I spent about 7-8 months trying to get my toe dipped into. That's not the metaphor. Trying to dip my toe into, and nothing was doing. And then we spent 2 weeks with it, and it's just before we started doing this conference right now, that's what I'm doing on my day off. Is I'm playing around with React. I'm having fun with React because I understand React, and that's why Lambda is. It's also too, if you're a self-taught developer, if you're somebody that's coming from it like me, this is your first time actually having people to talk to. Because here's the secret for you: programming is really lonely sometimes, and you don't really have people to talk to. Some months, depending on what you're working on, what you're doing. So having somebody like Carlos to just rap with, somebody to bounce some ideas off of, just yo, I don't understand how this works. Can you help me out with this? It's a very new thing for me. So to answer your question 5 minutes later, I would recommend Lambda wholly, because I don't think you have a lot to lose. And as long as you are able to get away with putting in that kind of time for a little while, just a brief period of your life, man, it's only 6+ months, 7 some months. And I guess the overarching concern about this was going to be just how do I put this? The reality of being able to do this, because it wasn't the everybody's different with this, but for me it wasn't how much time I was gonna have to put in to be able to make it worthwhile. It wasn't obviously a lot of hard work, a lot of unfamiliar territory, and you're gonna get scared and you're gonna get uncomfortable, but you just got to keep on through. For me though, the biggest thing was just how am I going to be able to not work for 6-7 months or so.
Yeah, that's rough.
That was big. That was a big concern of mine come August 28th, that 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, when we had our first meeting, our very first lecture, because I'm just thinking like, okay, it's cool. I'm living in Philadelphia in a warehouse, and I pay $300 a month for rent, and I've just been like getting away, being able to freelance, doing these brochure websites, you know, just like cheap development work or whatever. But I was able to make it work. I was able to just like keep a roof over my head and live cheap, and then I was just kind of rolling the dice with myself, with just like, this is gonna be a little bit longer than just a couple of weeks, man. You got to be able to assure yourself that you're gonna have a place to study, a place to get some square sleep, have a reliable internet connection, because this is no joke, man. It's not. This is a full-time job and more, and you have to set yourself up for success. You have to be able to assure yourself that you're going to be in an environment that you can get shit done. And when I was living in Philadelphia, it occurred to me that wasn't going to be a place that I could do it. So I had to make some moves, and I had to move. And thankfully I got some family that are willing to hedge his bet with me. I'm staying with my uncle right now. This is my uncle's kitchen, and I'll be staying with him for a little while. I'll probably be moving home for like another month or so come January. But that's the biggest thing that keeps me up at night about this is just, I'd be very comfortable. I wouldn't think twice about it.
Did you feel like that before joining?
No, not at all. Hell no, because React was again something I just could not make heads or tails out of. If I were to pick up if I'm going through the job postings in the newspaper today, and I find in the money section of the New York Times, and I find that React developer job, hell yeah, I'm gonna apply for it. that are doing this kind of work. You have to keep in mind, you get to stay cognizant of the fact that React is a framework that really is, 4 years old?
It's a library. Let's not get the internet pissed off at us.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Do you want to start this interview?
I don't want to get...
It's a...
Don't worry, I'll edit that out, man. We'll be all right.
Thank you. I don't want to doxed. The React has only been around for, it's like 4 years. Barely 5 years, and I think that the people that are really doing compelling things, working in something like React at the front end, which is really like I think the crux of what we were doing in the front end. I think that everybody's just, no matter how good you are, man, we're all still trying to figure out. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm not really intimidated by more senior React developers than where I see myself right now, because the projects that we worked on with Lambda over the React unit, like every time you're learning something like this, it's like your classic CRUD application, like your to-do list, your notes app or whatever. But that's the fundamental for every single thing that you're going to be doing with React. And if you can wrap your head around that, if you have the fundamental, the principles of how you're doing that, then there's no reason why you should feel like you can't go and apply for the job, that you cannot try to continue to grow as a developer and get better at what it is that you're doing when you already have it down. You understand the what it is made of and what you have to do in order to take it to the next level. So yeah, I would not feel in the slightest bit inhibited about applying for a job for front end, even if it wasn't React. I think it's the thing about Lambda is that it just supports the idea of independently learning, the autodidaction of acquiring the skills and the knowledge. If it was something in Vue, I would still apply. I would take the time to say that, like, hell yeah, I could learn Vue. If you have the faith in me and you can see what I can do in React, then I can assure you that if you just give me a couple weeks, I'm your guy.
So to wrap it up, man, first off, thanks for getting on the channel with me and doing this review. I think
YouTube. This is all I want.
Better than Fun Function.
MPJ. Dude's watched up.
Oh man.
Came on the scene.
But just to wrap it up, so what would you tell new students or people who are possible prospects who want to actually look to Lambda School or a school like Lambda to join? What would you tell them?
Well, it's hard to say for a school that's like Lambda because, frankly, I think it's fair to say that you and I are not necessarily cheerleaders for this program. You do go at lengths to try to address people's questions or concerns on the internet, though I don't think that you're somebody who's championing cause for the sake of just being a good boy for the program. You know, like you're somebody.
Yeah, they're not paying me for it. Once they start paying me for it, then I'll take that route.
Most definitely. And you and I are kind of both on the same page of just kind of like, you know, a lot of people in my life, other than just my close family and a few friends that keep close, not a lot of people even know that I'm doing this, just because of the fact that it's a deep dive. And if you're gonna do something like this, like Lambda, because again, I don't really see other programs that are even remotely close to what it is that we do with Lambda. You know what you're getting yourself into in regards to just how much of your life you're kind of putting on the back burner. There's no. This is absolution. This is going to comprise everything that you're doing with yourself. You know, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your homies, your hobbies, your job. Just be ready to kind of get comfortable spending a lot of time inside and just keeping your head down, man, because there's not much else. There's not a lot of time in the day, because when I first started doing this, I thought to myself, like, this would be the only time in my life that I can get away with doing this, because I not work for the first time in my life. I mean, this is like the first time in 20 years I haven't had a full-time job. It's weird.
Yeah, I know.
And just the fact that I could get away with that for a little while. I keep using that term, get away with, but that's how it feels. It's like this is the only time that this is feasible, that I won't be out on the streets if I do this. If you find yourself in a position that you are going to be able to take that chance, and if it doesn't work out, then yeah, you can just go find another job somewhere. Then hell yeah, this is something. You know, having said all this, don't build it up to be like this is. I think a lot of people, before they sign up with Lambda, were thinking that it was like this club where only 5 people in the world were selected. It does come across.
That's kind of how I felt before I joined Lambda. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Yeah, it does present itself in like a very exclusive kind of. Not like a stonecutters club, but like exclusive company. And there's a reason for that, because frankly, from the perspective of Lambda, I would think that it would do me a great service if I were in their position, to be able to weed out the jokers and the people who just kind of, yeah, like, I want to be a web developer, I want to make websites, and this thing is free, so I'm just gonna. You know, there's a reason why it's an arduous process to go through the sign up, but just know that that's by design.
Right. They know the bait was suicide. Too deep when I ride. Ruby getting out for the pills that I supply. The screws are bound, flat tires, and a 06 Chevy.
All right, man. Thanks so much for coming on by to the channel. Really appreciate it, especially all the information and a different perspective. It's nice to have so people don't just get my view on things, because, you know, I can very easily be seen as biased when really all I'm trying to give is what I think you should learn before going into this week, or what I've learned this week. So,
the realest dude in the game right here. This guy, I got big plans for this guy when it comes to Lambda.
Hey, dude, man.
I'm serious. Lambda's
When
like
you
that.
retire, man, I'm retiring, dude. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, there goes my source of information.
You got the YouTube game at least, you know. You got that on the side.
All right, man. Let's be out.